One thing I think I'm really enjoying about this season is the fact that the episodes are rolling like one after another and actually having continuity, which is something I mean, going into the first season, obviously you have some light continuity and story that actually continues on throughout the episodes, but this season is taking it to like the next level, and I'm loving every minute of it. Honestly, I think I'm going to keep saying this every single week, but this is probably my favorite episode of the series so far. And I don't think I'm wrong to say that that's probably going to be a unanimous opinion on this, because just everything we get this episode was so great. And I mean, that's really hard to top after last week after meeting Nagatoro, but dang, they did so fantastically well. So this episode starts off with Senpai and Nagatoro meeting up on the way to school, as they usually do. And of course he's debating about, telling her good morning as her first name, Hayase instead of Nagatoro. And he does this casual head shake thing. And of course, Nagatoro finds that kind of sus as always. So she grabs him by the sleeve of his sweatshirt, and he just heart flutters. Which, I mean, honestly, whose heart wouldn't flutter at that point? That is absolutely freaking adorable. And she's just completely screwing with him at this point. And we come to find out she read this article of like the top 10 things to make a man's heart flutter, and so she's like screwing with him with she does the hair flip and then the sleeve grab and just freaking everything. It is hilarious at this point. So she's like persistent about this because she really wants to fuck with him this day. So she's trying to grab his sleeve, and we get this like almost like intensive like shonen jump grabby like scene where she's like literally like going back and forth in like this like triangular circle trying to grab his sleeve, almost like a Dragon Ball fight scene. And it's absolutely freaking hilarious, and it's animated very well. On top of that, so that's going on. He's like, "That's right, I'm gonna get this girl back." So he tries to attempt to grab her sleeve. But, lately Senpai's got some balls, and he's been coming back at her. You can tell, like, he's starting to get some nuts. He's really starting to improve as a character. And then on top of that, they just keep getting all these awkward teenage, like, innocent date vibes, and I freaking love it. So he grabs her hand accidentally. It gets this, like, nice white aura highlight on the hands, just to really drill it in there for you. And what do you expect out of nowhere? The girls come. You got Maki, freaking Yoshi, and Sakura come around the corner, and at this point, they definitely ship them. They approve of Senpai, and they know Nagatoro obviously likes him back. So they're just doing everything in their power to just to fuck with these two. And so they come around the corner and like, oh, early in the morning, huh? We're not wasting any time. And of course, Nagatoro tries to denounce everything, but we all know secretly inside these two are they're in love. So we get to this point where Senpai's at home, and he's officially caught in the cold that continuates from last episode where they shared the spoon and he was helping her. So now Senpai's got the cold, and at first it doesn't seem like it's that bad, like most colds are, just a cough and everything. And right after that, we actually get introduced to Senpai's mother, which he clearly very much looks like it's pretty much, if you really look at the two, she's got a little longer hair with a couple grays in it and no glasses, but face-to-face shots, if you really look at them, they're like identical. And I don't really know if his dad's in the picture, to be quite honest with you, but either or, she offers to stay at home with him, for the day. And he's like, no, I'm not that sick. So because she has a business trip she has to take. So she leaves on this trip. And it's not going to be like a multiple day thing. It's just going to be a really late at night thing. So it's not like, she's that far away. We cut to Nagatoro at school, and she's just kind of looking around for Senpai. It looks like a lost puppy, and it's absolutely freaking adorable. So she's looking for him. Can't find him anywhere. Goes to the art room. He ain't there. So what does Nagatoro do? She starts freaking sending him texts. And the texts are like Did you finally escape? Are you hiding in a suitcase? Did you flee the country? Just like the most like drastic things you could ask somebody. But of course, for Nagatoro, it fits suit perfectly well. And of course, Senpai doesn't quite get to answering it, and just like that, Nagatoro's calling his ass. And he's like, he answers the phone, he tells her he's sick, and she feels really bad about it because she knows that he got it taken care of her, getting her the pudding and everything, and it's absolutely adorable. So he's getting ready to lay down, take a nap, kind of cool things off, like as one does when they have a cold. And who comes to the door? Ringing that bell like it's going out of fashion? Nagatoro. And literally, I shit you not, this is almost like scene for scene identical to what Senpai was doing at Nagatoro's house. So he doesn't answer the doorbell right away. So what does Nagatoro do? She goes to the side door. And unlike Senpai at Nagatoro's house, he's a lonely sibling from what I can tell. Or a lonely child, not a sibling. Anyways. So he looks around and there's Nagatoro in her like lumpy like black form staring in the window. And he goes to answer the door, right? And she's got this like, like the serial killer face where they got the hands on the window and like the death stare pressed against, and it's freaking hilarious. But he opens the door and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Well, I got the address from the president, of course, freaking bunny girl Senpai over here." And so she stops and she wants to check on him. And at first he doesn't want to let her in because he doesn't want to give her a cold because he's the gentleman. But she's like, "You know what? I gave you this cold, so I'm immune to this. I'm king shit." Essentially, is what Nagatoro goes with. So she kind of lets herself in, and they work their way up to his room because when you're sick, laying in bed is gonna be better for you than laying on the couch. Because I'll be honest with you, couch sleep's amazing, but I understand. So they get to the room, and Nagatoro instantly is like, "Where's the pervy books, huh? Under the bed? Behind the dresser?" And of course his reactions are like every single locations he's saying. Nail on that freaking nail on the hammer, man. Like she just knows every location. I mean, under the bed, sure, but like behind the dresser and everything, just like these exact pinpoint locations. And his reactions like ooh, knee jerks, like he just knows. So his cold's really starting to progress at this point, and Nagatoro can really tell. So she's gonna postpone that whole freaking Nudie magazine adventure trove, and she's gonna try to find a thermometer, take his temperature, and just to fuck with him some more. She ends up just pushing his hair to the side and putting her forehead against his, and we get this really beautiful still of her forehead against his. Couple hairs of her strangling down, looks really surreal with the both of them staring into each other's eyes, and it is absolutely adorable. But of course, she says he's got a fever because I beat red from embarrassment of the fact that he just got 1 inch from Nagatoro's face, and rightfully so. Especially if you have a crush on somebody and they're cute, you might as well. So Nagatoro right after that ends up pretty much telling him that, I'm gonna make you dinner because your mother, he tells her, that his mom's gonna be gone for a while because he checks his phone and she's gonna be late that night. So she goes some shopping, makes some porridge or whatever, and comes back, and he's getting kind of delusional from this fever. So he gets almost like a dream, like a lucid dream vibe of her as his wife. And she's got to go to work that day, but she has plenty of sick time, so she stays home and she's feeding him. And we get just the most absolutely freaking crushing scene of this episode that just made me want to scream. So he's going along with it, and she's feeding him, and she gives him a couple spoons full, and he finally calls her by her name. He's like, "Thanks, how you say?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh." She freaks out for a minute, but while she's doing that, it's the classic, I'm gonna dip, I'm just gonna pass out now. So he passes out, and she's kind of like, you can tell she really enjoyed him calling her by her first name. So like I said, if they're not dating by the end of this season, I think they're going to be pretty damn close to it. I don't know how far the manga is or, where it's at this point. I've only read the first few, so bear with me here. I will definitely probably read it. I think my local bookstore has it, to be fair. But anywho, going off the rails here. Right after that, Nagatoro's like debating about actually kissing him. She's got this like really innocent, lovey vibes. And may I add, the highlights in this season, or specifically this episode, on like everything, like her hair, the cheeks, the eyes. Oh my, they do so good. This studio OLM, at first I was skeptical. I didn't know much from them, but their artists need freaking all the attention. They do so good with detail, and of course the manga and the series helps along with it, but we've seen instances where that's not the case all the time. Support your freaking local artist and buy Blu-ray, so if it gets bad they can fix it. But she gets ready to pretty much kiss him, and mom comes home. So of course Nagatoro's freaking out. And we don't really know what's going to happen quite yet, because it cuts to the next morning. Senpai wakes up feeling great. And, you know, mom's like, how you feeling? You know, he tells her he's feeling good. And instantly she's like, who's that cute girl? And then we get the flashback instantly of what happened that night. So Nagatoro gets up, pretty much doesn't run, but he goes downstairs. And mom sees the shoes, and she comes down. And instantly Nagatoro's like, you know, thanks for having me. And I'm just a friend. And mom offers a ride because she clearly knows that she took care of Senpai, and she, you know, I live close, I don't need a ride, and just leaves out of nowhere. And mom's kind of talking to Senpai, asking him who she is, and he does the glasses fiddle, and I guarantee it's his mother, so she clearly knows out of anybody that he's lying, but he says it's just a junior, a kohai. I love it. So the next day, reoccurring instances, Nagatoro's now freaking gonna fuck with him because, she missed out on a day after taking care of him. So she's like, kicks him in the ass again, referencing to that other episode about the greetings from high school girls. And she starts kicking around, and he grabs her by the freaking calf, right? Her legs up, calf grab, looks pretty terrible from the outside, skirt's lifted up. And coincidentally, who's there? The girls again. And of course this time, yet again, look at you two so early in the morning. And it's freaking hilarious because, she's telling him she's practicing her judo. Nobody believes her. End of episode. This was a really good episode. Honestly, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it every week, but this is probably my favorite episode so far. And unless something tops it the next, 7 episodes, we'll see. But I think for right now, I think this might be the crowned one of the season so far. And it's just going to keep going up. And that's the hardest part, is how do you write something enough to, actually improve that much, especially with this type of genre? Hard to say. But I really thoroughly enjoy it, and they top it every time somehow. So I have to give credit where it's due. They do so freaking good. It's just unbelievable. I can't stress it enough. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna wrap this video up here. And if anybody has any opinions on, like I said, the season, just let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you didn't, you made it this far, I thank you very much. It'd mean a lot to me if you gave me a sub. I post, 2-3 times a week. I try to keep up consistency, and thank everybody for coming here. We will see everyone in the next video. This has been Squids, and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.